Hello guys, good to see you back. Once again, I'm back with another tutorial related JavaScript, and in this tutorial we are going to learn JavaScript setInterval and clearInterval. These two methods are used in JavaScript animations. Suppose if you want to animate any element, otherwise any DOM element, in that case this method is very useful, which is setInterval. To write this method you need total two parameters, a function name and time. And you need to put time in millisecond. This second parameter works as a timer. 1000 millisecond equal to 1 second. Now let's talk about the function. How this function going to work with this second parameter. If I pass 1 second, I want to say if I pass 1000 millisecond, then after 1 second, every time it's going to call this function. And whatever we perform in this function, it's going to run it. Basically, I want to say after 1 second, every time it's going to call this function. If you want to call it after 3 seconds, then you need to pass 3 seconds. And if you want to stop this animation in a particular time, in that case, we have another method, which is clearInterval. Using this method, you can stop the animation anytime. So without wasting your time, let's try to understand this concept practically. As you can see, side by side, I opened my Visual Studio Code editor and my browser using Lifesaver extension. And I already created an HTML document named index.html. With that, I create another file, a JavaScript file, which is animation.js. For now, our animation file is blank. Now, if I back to the index.html file, here you can see, here we create a div element. Basically, here we create a square box. Height 150 pixel and width also 150 pixel. And I set a background color red. And now I want to animate this square box. I want to move the square box right side after every 1 second. And to animate this square element, we need to jump into this JS file, animation.js. So at first, I'm going to call our method, which is setInterval. SetInterval inside the round braces, first we need to pass our function name. And I'm going to set this function name any. With that, I want to set a time, 1000 millisecond, which is equal to 1 second. Also, we need to provide the semicolon, and then we need to define this anim function. So let's create the function. First, I'm going to type function keyword, and our function name is anim. For now, I'm going to show you how setInterval method works. So I'm going to print something in my console. So I'm going to type console dot log inside the round braces. I want to type hello. And before I save this file and run this code, I'm going to turn on my console. Inspect console section. If I save this file, as you can see in my console section, it print hello 1, 2, 3. It's continuously counting and print hello in my console. So this is how setInterval function work. For now, I don't need this console.log, so I'm going to comment out this and set this file again. And now I'm going to declare a variable outside the function, and our variable name is var a assigned with 0, semicolon to end this line. Then inside this function, I'm going to increment a variable with 10. So type a equal to a plus 10. Basically, setInterval continuously call anim function after 1 second. And every time it call the function, it's going to increment the a value with 10. So first time it's going to print 10, then it's going to print 20, 30, 40, and it's keep going on. And now we need to target this square element using its ID. So I'm going to type var target equal to document dot get element by ID. Then inside the round braces, let's back to the index file and see the ID name. And the ID name is test. So copy the ID name and back to the JS file. And inside the double quotes, I'm going to pass the ID name test and semicolon to end this line. And now we need to move this element using CSS. First, I'm going to select our target. Target dot style dot, and I want to move it right side. So I'm going to add some margin at left side. So to type margin left equal to our variable a, and semicolon to in this line. So every second it's going to increase the margin by 10. So basically it's going to move our square right side. But if I save this file, it's not going to work. So you might have questioned what is the problem, because we do not provide any unit to this margin left property. So I'm going to use concatenation sign, and inside the single quote I'm going to pass pixel. I'm going to use pixel unit. So if I set this file, as you can see, after every 1 second it's going to move 10 pixel right side, and it continuously move right side after 1 second. So this is how we can animate this square box. For now, I'm going to comment out this line and set this file again to stop the animation. And if you want to increase the animation speed, then just you need to decrease the millisecond value. Suppose if you pass 200 millisecond and uncomment this line and set this file again, now you can see the animation speed. It increases our animation speed. So I want to comment out this line and set this file again. For now, I would like to go with 1 second. So I'm going to type 1000 millisecond. But now I want to stop our animation when our box achieve margin left 200 pixel. Basically, I want to say when our A value become 200, I want to stop the animation. For that, we need to use clearInterval method. Let me show you. But before, we need to use if condition. If A value equal to 200, then inside the if condition, I'm going to do something. So I use square braces. Also, I'm going to create else part. Else, inside the square braces, inside the else part, I'm going to animate this section. So I copy this one, and I want to move it inside the else condition. And I also uncomment this line. Then inside the if condition, now we need to stop this animation using clearInterval. But for that, we need to convert setInterval into clearInterval. So I'm going to store this setInterval in a variable. So here we'll type var, and our variable name is, you can take any name. For now, I'm going to take ID. And now we need to call clearInterval method. clearInterval. And inside the round braces, we need to pass this value, setInterval. So I'm going to pass ID. And semicolon to end this line. And before I set this file, I'm going to increase the animation speed. So I'm going to pass 100 millisecond. And I'm going to save this file. After save this file, as you can see, after reach 200 pixel margin at left side, it stop our box. Basically, we animate this box 200 pixel at right side. After reach 200 pixel margin at left side, our clearInterval stop this setInterval. Here you can animate any CSS property of this box. If you want to change the color, if you want to extend the width, yes, you can. Let me show you how. So let's animate the width. So I'm going to duplicate this section and comment out previous line. And I'm going to change target.style. Here I'm going to add width. I want to change the width property. Width, and I want to increase it up to 200 pixel. After reaching 200 pixel width, it's going to stop the animation. So let's set the file. As you can see, after reaching 200 pixel width, it stops our animation. So this is how setInterval and clearInterval work together. Basically, we use it for animation purpose. So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next tutorial.